December 2023, May 2024, June 2025. These are months which have come to define Lostwave. These months all stand out as having numerous notable Lostwave solves, and June 2025 may just be the biggest of them all. Stick around and I'll explain. And I'm going to start off with a bit of a cheat. A few Lostwave updates from late May. I know, the video is about June, but these were close enough to June that I'm counting them anyway. Plus, you'll understand I need to include this first one. While it's not quite a solve, it's connected to one that is near and dear to my heart because, well, it's a solve that I made. You may remember my video on Edge of a Dream, link in the description below, that ended somewhat anticlimactically, with us knowing the artists, Charlie and Cindy Wilson, but with my attempts to reach Cindy going nowhere, thus leaving us with only the low-quality recording we had to begin with. Well, that was until user Alan actually got a hold of Cindy. Turns out I'd been reaching out to the wrong Cindy, which is quite coincidental given there being two Cindy and Charlie Wilsons making music out of the same small city. But anyway, the real Cindy was incredibly nice and explained that they gave their music to whoever they could to drum up attention for their music. Cut to a few weeks later when Alan got a bunch of stuff in the mail from Charlie Wilson, Cindy's musical partner, including Edge of a Dream, which was credited on the CD to a band that Cindy and Charlie had created called Alleys. Alan also posted the songs from all the CDs that he was sent. The album by Alleys, an album by Charlie called Carolina Hound, the CD by Timescapes, and a CD released under the name Stone Lily. Also, Alan gave Cindy my contact info, so I'm hoping I might arrange an interview with her, and if I do, I'll make sure to let you know. You can find a link to the full high-quality copy of Edge of a Dream in the description below. Serious thank you to Alan. Moving on, again, this one just skirting June. User Techno is trying to find the song The More You Give Us Money, also known as 80s Song, and found a promising entry in the ASCAP and BMI music rights database called 80s Song, credited to an Antonius Maximus. After a bit of searching, we found an entry credited to The Nut House, a band fronted by Antonius, which had a song called 80s Song with the exact right length of time. Then a user pointed out a video originally shared by Techno with this 80s song in it. A video featuring Antonius and The Nut House, and that was enough for a solve. And now we're officially in June, so buckle your seatbelts. And June starts with a small one, but a fun one. Nell found the Leon Funk song called Lost in the Sand when listening to an album by the Bells. And so, there it was. Lost in the Sand was Buried Treasure by the Bells. Moving on to one of the biggest accomplishments in Lostwave, a Googly solve, Sonolux found My Brother using music fingerprinting tool Where's That Song, and since Severed Head submitted the channel that led to the solve, they both got credit. My Brother was Listen by the band Chisel. And honestly, this one is interesting on a variety of levels. Googly songs are generally hard to solve because the songs themselves are absurd. You can see once my 1,000 subscriber Googly special comes out. Anyway, that's why it's so surprising that the band was actually mildly popular on Discogs. And to top it off, server OG Marktrail had a compilation with a song by Chisel on it. Go figure. And with that, well, the next solve in June was so big, so notable, that it's getting its own solve video. But it's worth mentioning here too because, well, it was a huge deal. One of the old OG Lostwave tracks, I'll Give You Life, was solved. And this solve is complicated, but I'll try to condense it for this video. Utilization of Where's That Song led to Rain finding an earlier upload of I Give You Life, which in turn led to the discovery of a somewhat controversial user named Farazons. Among several controversies, Farazons pirated all the tracks they uploaded without crediting the original artist. User Clifton actually did get in touch with Farazons, who claimed he got all his music from a now defunct Japanese indie music sharing website called Musi. While this led to tons of frustrating brick walls, user Skyat eventually took a shot in the dark and reached out to Game Music Freak on Twitter, as most of Farazon's work seemed connected to Japanese music that could also act as gay music, and this led to a solve. I Give You Life was both Will of the World and Metal Doll by Kiesca. And you'd think that that could be top, but what was about to happen for the rest of June would just be edge of your seat amazing, and will require just a smidge of context. See, sometimes the FMM server will induct new channels through votes, and sometimes us mods will create a song channel based on a number of factors, including song's popularity, how old the song is, and a few other factors as well. And we'd done so at the end of May for the song Hold Me, also known as Posing, a 90s era rap song that had been sitting in the back of the class for a while. And just about 2 weeks after we'd added this new channel, it was solved. Just like that. Seriously, this one came seemingly out of nowhere. Either Clifton just posted solved with a thumbs up along with a song in question, Posing by Wonder Brown. When asked how Clifton solved it, the answer was simple enough, a YouTube search query with the right modifiers. Simply amazing, honestly. And with all these solves, us FMM mods added another new channel on June 16th, a song that had been popular for a while and was well deserving of a channel. In fact, I know at least 1 or 2 people had reached out to me asking me to do a video on this song, White Trash, also known as Resident Evil. In fact, even Wang himself made a video about this song a while back. Then, one day after the White Trash channel was created, June 17th, user A. Caruso pointed out a comment on YouTube by user Obscure Metal Hardcore Archive, which claimed they'd identified this song as White Trash by the band Coexist. And it was quickly confirmed. In about 24 hours after getting a channel, White Trash had been solved. Then, while I was working on my lesser-known Lostwave songs video, one of the songs I was featuring in it, We're All a Little Weird, was solved by Capy. Though this was a bit oblique as Capy had reached out to the mods to verify it, and all I can say is that Capy's reasoning is sound. This did involve someone involved in the production of the TV show The Latest Buzz, and we don't want them to get them in trouble. This solve was, again, out of nowhere. And to be honest, I felt a bit dumb that it would be included in my lesser-known Lostwave songs video now that it was solved, but at least I wouldn't have that problem twice, right? Right? Well, before I conclude that thought, a brief deviation to one of the Mark Trail songs, specifically Your Sacrifice, which was again solved thanks to Where's That Song along with Sonolux, who submitted the channel that led to the match. Your Sacrifice was Suffocated by Religion by Out in the Cold. Anyway, one of the other songs I knew I was including in that lesser known Lostwave songs video I mentioned was a song that had gotten popular fast. Plus, it was old enough so we knew it couldn't be hoaxed. There was no doubt it was getting a channel. The song in question was So Sick of Los Angeles. And if you want some of the search backstory for that track, you can find it in that video I mentioned, link in the description below. Anyway, again, a seemingly out of nowhere solve when user RayZox57 posted a song called Los Scandalous by Jeremy Jackson. And before you ask, no, it's not the Jeremy Jackson for Baywatch. Also, let it be known it's incredibly frustrating we didn't have the whole song for this one, because if we had, it would have been a very quick and easy solve since Jeremy identifies himself as Jeremy Jackson in the song itself. I swear. Wait. Stop. It is the Jeremy Jackson for Baywatch. Yeah, we didn't believe it either until someone pointed out his MySpace archive actually mentioned the Baywatch reunion party. In case you were wondering, RayZox has a copy of the Dragon Horde, a backup of a metric ton of MySpace music, and used Where's That Song on So Sick of Los Angeles, which led to him finding Los Scandalous by Jeremy Jackson. So we bounce back to Mark Trail's songs, where VisualConfusion solved Screaming Noise Rock seemingly out of nowhere. Seeing a pattern here? Believe it or not, this one was solved because, well, VisualConfusion was listening to Lostwave uploads and recognized this one. You've just got to love coincidences like this. And again, in the midst of all these solves, on June 23rd, the mod team added yet another channel, Tide. Having been downloaded from an MP3 downloading website with the label unknownartist-tide.mp3, this song had a quintessential Lostwave backstory. Right off the gate, we had Jig joking that this would be the next channel that'd be solved immediately. And, I mean, at this point, you know it's coming, right? Because the very next day, Jacob solved it. Tide was The Undertow by Frostline. This time, the song was solved again by Where's That Song scanning the mp3.com archive. Oh, and just take a moment to appreciate some of these very accurate reactions. Ping-ponging back to Mark Trail's songs for a third time in the course of a month, Synth Solo was solved. And it turned out it was Shazammable, so that's cool. Moving on. Wait, it was Shazammable? Well, I'll be. It was Shazamable. I guess Shazam isn't always a complete waste of time when it comes to Lostwave searching. And I'm again going to slightly cheat to include a solve that officially happened on the 1st of July, but since the vast majority of work going into the solve happened prior to July, it honestly deserves a place in this video. In this case, I'm talking about the song We Tie Ourselves to Lies. See, on June 20th, user Sharanik pointed out a MySpace track called Don't Get Over Me, which matched the lyrics on the track and was exactly the right length as well. Then, after a few days, AzureBlast heard back from the MySpace artist in question, Alex Caress, and he confirmed We Tie Ourselves to Lies was his song, Don't Get Over Me. And it turned out that Alex would be really cool. After explaining why we wanted a high quality copy and after some speechlessness from Alex about the existence of the Lostwave community, Alex connected with Screen Queen, who he gave an official high quality copy of Don't Get Over Me to, officially solving We Tie Ourselves to Lies, but who he also did a great Zoom interview with. Link to that in the description below. To top it all off, Alex joined the FMM server and his heartwarming reaction continued with this absolutely uplifting reply. Well, let me tell you, I've shed some tears today for the kid who made this song who had no idea where life would take him. I've had quite a journey in my life. Music has taken me lots of places, but I never expected to heal my inner child on a Discord server. And with that sort of reaction from this amazing of a solve, well, I hope you can understand I simply had to include this one. So, with all of that, is June 2025 the best month for Lostwave ever? I think there's a huge argument for a resounding yes, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, I'm PersonOfDistraction, and I'm now listening to.
The more you give us money, the more we get up. This jam is like the 80s. Let loose and have some fun.
Cloud and closing. I'm supposing it's going to keep flowing for that sound. Yeah, we're all a little weird. Yeah, we're all a little weird. Los Angeles, man, I'm so sick of Los Angeles.